In the 8th episode of Superman and Lois's 4th season, we meet a villain who has been waiting in the wings. Explore what happens after Superman reveals his secret identity, and see significant changes for Clark and Lex Luthor as they prepare for their final confrontation. In Superman and Lois, Episode 7 saw Clark come clean about being Superman. Episode 8 had to cover a lot of ground in the aftermath of this moment, but it does a great job of balancing that with other important storylines involving the show's central DC characters. In fact, Episode 8 makes an effort to introduce a new character to Superman and Lois's 4th season cast, and it uses them to reveal what appears to be the beginning of Lex Luthor's last big scheme to defeat Clark and Lois. The plot that develops here is a perfect illustration of how, overall, things have only grown more important and intriguing as the live-action Superman show approaches its last hours. Since its debut in Season 3, the plot around Lois's cancer diagnosis and treatment has played a major role in the show. The 8th episode of Season 4 gives viewers some good news about this arc. Lois's fight with breast cancer seems to be done, according to her most recent exam, which means she won't require any further treatment. Superman and Lois have had a rough season, so it's nice to hear some good news for them. Viewers have followed Lois's complicated journey with them every step of the way, so this is especially welcome. Episode 8 naturally delves into the fallout from Superman's decision to reveal his dual identity as Clark Kent to the world, as seen in the previous episode. The low-stakes plot of Jonathan, Jordan, and Natalie's struggles to get into the movies due to the large crowd in Smallville to see Superman and his sons, sets the stage for the eventual exploration of the dangers of being a public hero, as shown in the incidents of Candace's breakup and Lois's brick thrown at her through the window of the Smallville Gazette. While Candace and Jonathan get back together before the end of the episode, this subplot underscores that Superman's identity becoming public knowledge isn't just something him and his family have to deal with, but that everyone in their lives is touched by. It will be intriguing to observe how this decision is felt in the final 2 episodes of the series, given that Lex Luthor appears to want Clark to have revealed his secret identity. There is made more problematic by the fact that the show the pair conduct their dispute on, helmed by Tom Cavanaugh's Gordon Godfrey, has a host who appears to be already somewhat more sympathetic to Lex, having interviewed Luthor first and thus gotten his version of events beforehand. As it stands, Lois works out how to get under Lex's skin by declaring she can phone his daughter, and Elizabeth will corroborate her take on everything, only for the debate to be cut off by Superman having to fly out of the building in order to deal with a new opponent. After Milton, seemingly Superman and Lois's version of Brainiac, given Milton Fine is an alias associated with the villain in the comics, was previously teased as a figure helping Lex Luthor in the show, Episode 8 unveils him in the flesh, shown seemingly shortly after killing off prior Luthor henchman Otis to ensure he doesn't implicate Lex in the attack on Lana Lang. Not long after, Milton then utilizes his technological know-how to hack into the Steel and Starlight suits worn by the Irons family, turning the Starlight suit against Jordan and Jonathan and the Steel suit against Superman. While Jordan and Jonathan eventually succeed against the Starlight suit, and Superman is able to contend with the Steel suit similarly, Milton is able to update the Steel suit's programming to separate it from John Henry Irons and bring it back for Lex Luthor to use instead going forward in the show. Given Milton talks updating the suit, it seems there's a high likelihood that Lex's version of it will pose much more of a threat to the Man of Steel, especially since Season 4, Episode 8 also details the fact that Clark's powers are expected to progressively keep decreasing. Since this conversation also reveals that Clark's days look to be numbered and that he'll likely only have as long as Sam Lane would have himself had left, it's a somber storyline, and one that grows more somber when Clark has to tell his children that this is the case towards the end of the episode. With Lex Luthor stronger than ever and Clark at a weaker point, it seems the stage is set for a climactic last showdown between the duo in the final 2 episodes of Superman and Lois, even if Jordan and Jonathan can also likely aid.